everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
Adam Schefter teased some big breaking news. Adam, you've told us about it. What do we got?
Adam's on the phone.
Adam, we have some more.
Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move.
And he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
They still have a lot of good young players. So I don't think of them as I just don't think of them that way.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
The Ortho ASAP Clinic is available at the Brookfield and Pewaukee locations. Patients can walk in and be seen without an appointment. Faster, easier, less expensive alternative to ER or even urgent care. Sprains, strains, fractures, lacerations, dislocations, all of it. They handle it. They also offer physical therapy on site, MRI, and outpatient surgical procedures. There is a difference. There is always a difference when Adam Schefter joins the show as well. Good morning, Adam. How are you doing today?
Jen, Gabe, Chewy, how are we doing today? Happy Wednesday. Big game tomorrow night.
I know. We're super excited about it. The Brewers also clinched the division last night, so it is a good day to be a Wisconsin sports fan as the Packers sit atop their division as well. But before we get to all of that important stuff, I believe that you may be a Swiftie, and I was wondering if in all your times covering sports and covering the NFL, you have ever seen anything like the phenomenon that we saw Sunday at Arrowhead.
Well, let me say this. It was unbelievable, Jeff, because we wrap up Sunday Countdown, and I go to the place where we all watch all the games to the side of the ESPN Cafe. There's a viewing room that we call the War Room, and we're gathered in there, and I would say about 2 o'clock, Field Yates and I begin getting texts that Taylor Swift may be coming to Arrowhead. Now, there's a part of me that's like, well, I got to find out if this is true. And there's a part of me like, well, this is ridiculous to have to find out. And then I began texting people, and they say that, oh, yeah, it sounds like security's getting ready. I'm like, let me know when she's there. Let me know when she's there. No sign of her, no sign of her. And all of a sudden, I would guess, what time would it have been? Roughly around 3:55 or so. I'd have to look back at my X timeline. I got a text, yep, she's here. Security's bringing it through right now. So, like, do you attribute that to a source? Do you attribute it to what? I just said Taylor Swift is at Arrowhead today. Okay. And I texted my daughter, who's 15, almost 15, and she went nuts. And I'm like, whoa. And then all of a sudden I started hearing from all these people outside the football world. Like, they couldn't believe it. And it's on Good Morning America and the Today Show every single morning. And it's honestly, I don't care what it is. There could be some kind of huge football news. It doesn't compare or rival the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. It just doesn't. Like, that's the biggest thing going right now.
You think Andy Reid is happy about this distraction? I can't think he would be.
Football brain over here, Shefty.
Holy moly.
You know, here's what I would say to that. What does it matter from a football standpoint? Like, the Chiefs' ticket sales have gone nuts. People, to me, like, as soon as I heard that she was there, I'm like, oh, you know, I have Travis Kelce on one of my fantasy teams. He's definitely scoring a touchdown today. Like, no doubt in my mind.
That's a good call.
And he did.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, like if I never bet these prop bets in Vegas, but I'm like, oh, I would have laid big money that Travis Kelce's scoring a touchdown, you know, that day.
What does your gut tell you? That it's a publicity stunt or that these two are really into each other? Because those are the two sides. Those are the two arguments.
That I don't know. There are people who believe it is just a publicity stunt. I guess what I would say to that would be two things. Number one, why does Taylor Swift need more publicity?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't. Okay? So I don't think that's... And number two, if she were doing it for publicity, do you think that she'd want to go spend, let's just say, 3.5 hours sitting next to Travis Kelce's mom in a box? Like, I don't know. Like, you want to go sit next to someone's mom in a box on a Sunday afternoon?
It is Donna Kelce. Of all the moms.
Hey, listen, Donna Kelce is a huge celebrity.
On the
I
Mount
got
Rushmore.
It. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm a glass half full person. So I just think, I don't think it's a stunt, but it could be. It could be. My guess would be it's not. It's gone on long enough, and They were having some fun. Once she was there, that was the whole thing, right? Like, so, I put on X, she's there, and then there's video that appears on Fox, and it was like, oh my God, this is happening. Like, everybody's like, whoa, my God. Honestly, it felt like such a big deal when Fox showed that, didn't it?
Yeah. It was huge. I was shocked. Couldn't believe it. Adam, if the Jets continue to be a dumpster fire with the players yelling at the coaches on the sideline and this thing really goes south, is there a chance they could clean house in New York, or will the fact that Aaron Rodgers supposedly is going to come back next year give them one more year?
Well, I think both of those are actually valid questions, right? Because I think in an ordinary year, in an ordinary circumstance, everybody would be in trouble. But I do think that part of the reason that Aaron wanted to come to New York was to play for Robert Saleh and with Joe Douglas and all those people like that. And because he's coming back, I think that my guess would be that they all come back together, that he buys them a level of support that they might not have gotten in a situation or circumstance like this. So I do think they are extended extra grace from this. We'll see if that's ultimately what Woody Johnson decides to do. But that's one of the great built-in parts of the Aaron Rodgers trade is it kind of has a cushion for everybody because he goes down. Now, if Aaron had played this year and they were terrible and it failed, well, then everybody, I think, is up in the air, their futures. But I think you could pass it off as saying, hey, we're going to run this back. We're going to run it back the way we wanted to before it was interrupted that Monday night, 4 plays and 75 seconds in. And we're going to see how it works out. Now, I can tell you this. To get from where we are today to the end of the season with them saying that is quite a road. And there may be a lot of bumps along the way that change that equation. There's a lot of time left and a lot of misery left between now and then. And all that misery certainly could change it. But as we're sitting here talking about it on Wednesday, September 27th, my guess would be that the presence of Aaron Rodgers and his looming return buys extra comfort and grace for most people there.
Adam, the Packers have had a couple players dealing with hamstring issues, and it looks like they're trending in the right direction to play tomorrow against the Lions and Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. But as training camps have gotten lighter in terms of the practice load, have you noticed a trend across the league with some of these soft tissue issues, or were the Packers just unlucky with that in the early part of the season?
No, I think there have been more of those types of injuries. I don't think it's unusual or uncommon. I don't think it's that Green Bay was more unlucky than anybody else. I do think that when you looked at this past weekend, as I was getting ready some of my injury report information over the weekend, it dawned on me like, okay, you're not just talking about the Packers playing Sunday against the Saints. I think when you're looking at that game this past week, you're looking at it as a game of it's Green Bay, New Orleans, and it's Green Bay, Detroit in a short week on a Thursday night. So I think that got factored in to some of the decisions that they made on Sunday. And they just felt like it's not wise to push these guys, some of these guys, to play 2 games in 5 days. We have to be smart in how we do this. And they decided to hold out some of those guys this past Sunday, and it worked out. And I was thinking of you guys because last week we talked about the Falcons game and the fourth quarter that went south and the whole thing. And we all would agree they gave away that game last week. They lost the game they should not have won. Well, it just evened out because now they won a game they shouldn't have. And they basically came from behind here when it looked like they were dead. And the Saints missed the game-winning field goal that the kicker could have made. And credit to Green Bay for mounting the comeback that it did. But if you looked at the way they played the last 2 weeks, they probably played well enough to be 1-1 in those games. And that's exactly what happened. But they won the game that you wouldn't have thought they would have. And they lost the game that you wouldn't have thought they would have. And they turned out to be 2-1, which sets up, to me, a huge game on Thursday night, which is where we started because the Bears look dead. The Vikings look dead. And so the division comes down to Detroit and Green Bay. And so the winner tomorrow night has a leg up in the NFC North And that's, I think, why the game is as significant as it is. A huge game for the Packers. And to get back Aaron Jones and to get back Christian Watson, that's a big deal for the Packers on Thursday night.
We've been talking about Aiden Hutchinson on this show and how the Packers can slow him down, neutralize some of his strengths. Who would you compare him to? Is there a player out there that, I mean, we've seen him obviously last year and does seem like he's picked up right where he left off. Is there a player that he reminds you of, Adam, all these years watching the NFL?
How about Justin Smith, the former Bengals and 49ers defensive end? Justin Smith was a bear of a man. He was really strong. He was an excellent pass rusher. See, when I think of Aiden Hutchinson, I think of my son graduating from Michigan and me walking out of the stadium, and the first person I see was Aiden Hutchinson and his sister on the moped. Like that was the first thing I see. So it's hard for me to think, well, this is I got my son's age who's tormenting offensive tackles and wreaking havoc around the National Football League. But that's where we're at. And to me, that's a guy that he reminds me of is Justin Smith, the former Bengals and 49ers defensive end, who is a great player. Any other comparisons that you guys have made?
Chew, anything?
I kind of Bosa light right now. Adam kind of reminds me of those two. Yeah. Just a motor that's running all the time. Yeah,
well, listen, he's been a great player, and I think right now he might be leading the league in quarterback pressures, and he's been a menace out there. He's been exactly what they wanted him to be. You know, he fell into the laps. A lot of people thought Jacksonville was going to go Aiden at 1. They went Trayvon Smith instead. Aiden fell right to where he wanted to go, goes to the hometown team. It's been a great pick for them, worked out great, and the Lions, the Packers, have to figure out a way to control him as best as they can on Thursday night.
Last thing for you, Schefter, before we let you go. Chewy is out on champagne celebrations in clubhouses. Last night we mentioned the Brewers win the division. He told us it has to do, it goes back to, right? If we lay him down on the couch and do a little therapy, it goes back to when you guys, won?
Super Bowl 31.
You were not allowed to celebrate.
Reggie did not want champagne in the locker room.
So nobody had champagne.
So no one did, which kind of sticks in our craw, the core today, because we were like, hey, Reggie, if you didn't want it, why don't you just remove yourself? Because all I remember, Adam, is essentially getting out of the locker room so quickly to go start celebrating with my guys.
But you got to celebrate with you guys back at the hotel. You guys won in where in New Orleans?
Yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah, right. So you go back to the hotel.
Like, pretty good place. That's what he's getting at.
I'm going to guess it really wasn't all that difficult to go celebrate in New Orleans in the hotel there, right? Like, if you wanted champagne there, you wanted whatever you wanted, it was probably right there, right?
I wanted to get my uniform all smelly with champagne. I wanted to spray guys. Yeah, it's just, it was one of those things, Adam, where I built it up in my mind as so big, and it didn't reach that
expectation, like New Year's Eve.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you remember? What do you remember about that night celebrating back at the hotel? Because here's the thing that's always so interesting to me is that every team that's in the Super Bowl, the 2 Super Bowl participants, they always make these plans for bands to play. So, like, there are really cool musical acts and entertainment acts, and so they go on even if the team loses. So how'd you like to be playing at the losing team's party, but the winning team's party is just it's out of control. It's crazy. What do you remember about your post-game Super Bowl party, Chewy?
Well, I remember. See, the executive board, there's like 12 of them. They're kind of glommers, and I don't want to be sitting there getting after it with 80-year-old men. I want to be with my guys. But Adam, I did experience it the next year because we lose to Denver, and we still had the party because we were 12-point favorites. And all of a sudden, I remember going in there and then just, getting a little bit to eat and then
not remembering anything else.
And then you just grab a bottle and head back up to the room.
We still partied, but it was a little different feeling.
So you partied when you lost. And you got an issue with the Brewers party
win or
when
lose,
they won.
I got that from Boston College because we didn't win a lot of games, so it was win or lose, we booze.
Yeah, see, I I can't imagine what it's like to go to one of those parties after a Super Bowl loss like that. That would be the most hollow, empty, defeated feeling. Like, oh,
yeah, it was terrible.
I know, the season's over. You get a little break here. Your body gets to, recharge, rejuvenate, and heal up. But to go to one of those parties after a loss, that can't be very fun. And I always feel bad for the people that are performing there. I guess they're getting paid. I should feel
they're
bad.
getting a lot of money to do that.
I'm just picturing like Kool and the Gang playing "Celebrate" to an empty room with just like a couple random balloons on the floor.
If we
That's a little bit what it's like.
If we threw together a Chew Pain party, would you come, Adam Schefter? If we threw together sorry you missed your homecoming when you were in high school, but we're going to throw you a homecoming here, would you come?
As long as it fits into the schedule, I'm there. Like, Jen, you know what it's like this time of year. Like, there are a lot of things we want to do, right? There are only so many things we get to do. So, I'm preaching to the choir here, right? Like, I'd love to do that. If you want to plan it in April or May, I'm 100% there.
You know what? We should do it when Green Bay hosts the draft.
Oh.
When Green Bay hosts the draft, we throw together a little Chew Pain party, and it will be us basically recreating your celebration that you didn't get when y'all won the Super Bowl.
In the locker room.
That might be tough to pull off.
Don't pressure lock.
That is great. That is great thinking. Planning ahead. We've got plenty of time to plan. We can get musical acts that Chewy would like, right?
Taylor
Swift. Can throw the party of all parties. Now, here's the question. What night are we doing it? Like, I can't do it Wednesday night. So are we doing it Thursday? We could do it like Tuesday night of draft week, or we could do it even better after the first round that Thursday night, or best of all, maybe like Friday night.
See, I was thinking at noon we'd start. No. Adam, I'm going to be in bed by 7.
Okay, well. We just got to come up with the timing. You nailed it.
I think we're on to something here. Of course, that isn't until 2025, but it gives us plenty of time to put a little party together. Adam, we appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Good luck Thursday night. Congratulations to the Brewers, and we'll talk again next week.
Who should we put on the Chew Pain? Because it's champagne.
Yep. Chew Pain party list.
You got Brett, Frank.
Really?
Roy.
Really? Well, by 25.
William. These guys will show up.
The cycle have been around again. Yeah. Brett will be okay again.
Yeah. By 25, Brett could be okay by then.
All right. So we got Brett on the list. We got Frankie on the list.
Leroy
on the list.
Gilbert.
Okay.
Santana.
Free.
Oh, we got, of course, Free. You got to have Andre. Okay. He's not going to wear a shirt. But you got to have Andre.
It's a Chew Pain party. Of course. I mean, he doesn't have to wear a shirt.
And it's very easy, Jen, because not only did we go by win or lose, we booze. We also went by if it's free, it's me.
Uh-huh. We can hook it up. I mean, we got friends. We got party partners.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the Chew Pain party that's going to happen in 2025 when the Green Bay Packers host the NFL draft.
Going to be cool.
So you just put this on your calendar, buddy, okay?
Sounds good.
Chances that he's still on the show in 2025, Gabe.
I mean, we're going to have to get like a helicopter to get him up to Green Bay.
Would you go 50-50 or 30-70?
Look, I'll give up the helicopter for a noon start.
That's good negotiating right there, brother.